All right, my little flamingos have dried enough that we can play a little bit, and I can show you just how little stress the kind of watercolor finish is on these. A lot of people tell me, you know, I can't watercolor. It's too tricky. Watercolor's too, I don't know what they're worried about, but people think they can't paint. And I'll show you like what I do with these that really just makes each one of these cards look like you've labored over it, and you have to have some high skill. It's really pretty quick and easy. So I'm just adding, I've been working with these, you can see, but I'm just adding a little more of the re-inkers in the lid of the stamp pads. So I'm sure to have enough to work with because it was getting kind of thin. Dapper Denim, Tranquil Tide, and Daffodil Delight is what I'm working with. I'm so bummed. Dapper Denim has been one of my all-time favorite colors. And it's retiring. It's one of the in colors that's going to be retiring the end of May. So I've stocked up, I'll be honest. You'll still see me use it. But in part, it's a beautiful blue, but what it does with these different watercolor techniques and salt techniques, and when I paint, the pigment is just a wonderful pigment. But in any event, we're going to do this really, you know, quick and easy. Oops, looks like I have a little Tranquil Tide left on the brush, my aqua painter. So I'm picking some of that re-inker up, and then here we go. It's going to be rough, right? That looks like it needs a little more water. I got it a little too thick. So I'll just spread that out. And I'm going right over the flamingo. And see, I can actually pick some of that up where I had gone a little too heavy-handed. So yeah, right over the flamingo's feet. The Flirty Flamingo, pink, will move a little bit, but if you ask me, I think it just makes it look even more like a reflection on the water, or that, you know, their feet are in the water. And then what I should be doing a better job of is cleaning off the brush a little bit so I'm not carrying the color from ink pad to ink pad. But then get just a little bit of the Tranquil Tide and add some highlights, some little contrast color, and, you know, see how I'm really laboring over this, right? Like, doesn't have to be hard. It really doesn't, to be beautiful. And you can already see each one is looking a little bit different. And then the last thing I kind of like to do with these as they start to dry is get some of the Daffodil Delight. And I'm using the aqua painter that actually has a little bit smaller tip. Close this one up already. So see how when you get the aqua painters, you get two size like brush heads, and they're actually wonderful rounds. I've got some crazy expensive watercolor brushes that don't hold their point as well as these things do. But in any event, I'm gonna get some of that, and you have to be kind of forceful to see the color come. I'm being a little bit rough with it. There it goes. And then the yellow, especially if my timing is anywhere close, will react with the watercolors that are already on the paper. And you see it starting to happen there. And here it looks really pretty. That where I thought I might have had too much Dapper Denim is actually looking pretty good. And then sometimes I'll even come back in, get some of the Dapper Denim or Tranquil Tide, and just give it a little more of this little spatter. It gives it a little texture and a little more interest. There we go. And then I also like to do that on the inside of the cards. A little bit in the, you know, when you open up the card and you've got your greeting or where you get to write something on the inside, I'll sometimes put that in there, and on the corner of the envelopes looks really nice. So yep, that's it. And it's funny because sometimes when I look at them and I think, oh, I overdid that, I underdid that, by the time I add some little grasses and a sentiment, just they all look beautiful and wonderful in their own way. And it was absolutely no stress. So I'm gonna let those dry and work on some other things to get these cards finished, but hope you're having fun.